Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to everyone, and welcome to the Pascal Show. I hope you guys are all doing well out there. Your boy's been busy out here. Your boy's been really, really busy out here, so I can keep giving you your stories of the day. Oh, man, we got a lot to go through here, and I got a very little bit of time to go through all of this stuff, but there's a lot of things that have been on my mind that I've been seeing in the news, ruminating over on the news overnight and this morning. And I was just like, you know what? I need to jump on. I need to chop it up with my fam and talk about these damn things with y'all because things are just getting weirder and weirder. There are some new things revolving around some other another case that I covered a few months back that now is starting to turn for not the greatest. Okay. And there's just a bunch of other things. Now a new Redrum case, a new unalive case that's going on that involves a influencer. I don't even know if we call this person an OnlyFans model. Okay, you see the title down below. We do have to report a missing person story as well, and of course there's a few small stories about Will Smith that have been percolating over the last 24 hours that I was like, you know what, we need to talk about it because we have been on that story like crazy. So we are going to be talking a little bit, tiny bit of Will Smith. Okay, a tiny bit. I know I'm tired of talking about it too, but there is some new information that I think that if, you know, we've all been caring about this for the past 11 days. We definitely need to talk about this particular one. Because it may be a foreshadowing of what's to come. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But we are going to get into it for show. For show. Good morning and good afternoon and good evening to every single last one of y'all that are starting to file in and all that. Before I get into the stories, into your stories of the day, midday, your lunch, during your lunch break, please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Send those likes past 100 likes real quick. I see you guys starting to file in, and I really do appreciate it. Okay. And of course, for those of y'all who haven't done this yet, hit that subscribe button. That's all I ask. Hit it. And join the Pascal Show family that happens to be growing in a wonderful, wonderful way. Okay? And it'd be great to have you a part of the Pascal Show family, as always. Okay? So, like I said, I don't have a whole lot of time because I still got some stuff to do at this new studio and all that. So we got to jump into these stories and get it crack-a-lacking. Real bloody talk, okay? Now, I do have a story on here that I couldn't fit in the title down below that we need to talk about real quick before we move on to our big headlining stories here. All right? Don't worry. We're going to get through everything. We're just going to be doing it in a timely fashion today. Okay. So there is this situation that I talked about where there was a young man by the name of Amir Locke that was unalived by cops during a no-knock warrant that happened inside his friend's home. Cops came barged through the doors and took his life. Let's just say that while he was asleep, he woke up out of nowhere. Cops came busting through the doors. Next thing you know, he was reaching for his gun. They drew their guns, and guess who won? Right? Unfortunately, so. Now, of course, there's that hashtag Amir Locke, justice for Amir, and all that circulating everywhere. And unfortunately, I got some bad news for everybody who's been following this case, following this story, or have been following this particular case. Yeah, I'm not happy about this news at all either. And so let me show this to you guys real quick so that you guys can see with your eyes as well as your ears. Okay. So no charges will be filed in fatal police unaliving. I'm sorry, I have to use these code words, guys. I'm sorry. But of Amir Locke, killed during or unalived during no-knock warrant service. Now, the thing is that we talked about this in great lengths when this story first came out. And what's frustrating is that no-knock warrants were not supposed to be administered at all. Ever since, of course, in the wake of all the stuff that's been happening, the Ariana Taylor stories and all that, the other moments of where no-knock warrant things like this go down and people lose their lives. They said that they're not going to be doing this anymore. And this is happening. So it's a very, very frustrating situation. And I know that this is a story that's very polarizing for many different people. Some people agree that this was unjust. Some people think that this was justified. I'm going to leave that up to you guys. I just feel that the fact that there are no charges on this situation, I'm not entirely down for that. I wish that they would at least do what they need to do to investigate, look into this, press charges if charges need to be pressed, so on and so forth. But let's get into this article, okay? Prosecutors declined to file charges against the Minneapolis police officer who fatally shot Amir Locke or any other officers involved in the no-knock warrant service that led to the 22-year-old black man's demise in early February. An officer took Locke's life within a few seconds of entering the apartment after prosecutors said Locke emerged from a couch with a firearm and raised it towards an officer. The officer and others on the Minneapolis SWAT team were there serving a warrant in a homicide investigation. So we've seen the video. And the thing is that you have to see the video for yourselves and look at this, okay? This man was kicked, throttled, I guess, awake, and surprised. And I don't know. To me, it's like if you are worried about something or scared out of your mind and don't know what's going on and you are just in a deep sleep and you're being just frightened awake, jostled awake like that, I just think that you might react in a certain way. He knew he had his piece there. He grabbed for his piece. He is no longer here. I just wish that they would do a little bit more into this. But of course, they say that they did, and here it is. After a thorough review of all available evidence, there is insufficient admissible evidence to file criminal charges in this case, according to a statement from the county attorney and state attorney general released Wednesday. Interesting. So this is some interesting information you should know, though, here. Okay. At the time, Locke was I'm just going to say shot. At the time Locke was shot, he was in legal possession of his firearm inside the apartment, according to prosecutors, but they said that wasn't relevant to the investigation. According to the statement from the prosecutors, Locke's actions after officers entered the apartment on a judicially authorized search warrant constituted a specifically articulable, something like that, threat. Okay, so he was at his cousin's. He was asleep. And I probably butchered that word, but I'm sorry. Him sleep. All of a sudden, boom, it's the police. And then all this stuff goes down. He reaches for his guns, so on and so forth. And ish hits the fan. Okay. Like I said, wherever you stand on this situation, I just don't think that them saying, okay, at the time he was in he had legal possession of his own firearm. He was inside the apartment. And then they say that that wasn't relevant in the investigation. And according to the statement, because it was a court-ordered search warrant, that is not applicable. Like that, this doesn't count. For me, like I said, for me, it just doesn't work for me. And I wish, once again, I just see this as them protecting their own, trying to find ways to protect their men and women in blue. I just wish they would look into it a little bit more and see what the heck is really going on here. If you look at the body cam footage, you can see that he does not have his finger on the trigger. He just grabbed for his gun, and then they take him down. So, of course, there's a lot of people that have opinions about this situation, understandably. But we need to talk about this, and we need to bring awareness to this story, because this is not the only other story that we have covered on this show where the cops get to walk and there's no repercussions for their actions. Yes, I get it that these guys are reacting and they have one split second to make that decision, so on and so forth. But when you look at everything else, you see all the other things that are in here. This was a man that had a legal firearm. He had no criminal record. He was just sleeping in that apartment. And I just wish they would look into it a little bit more before they just suddenly say, all this other stuff isn't part of the investigation. All that is obsolete. And then on top of that, given the fact that on top of that, here it is too. It's funny. It's really funny that this kid had no record. He legally owned the firearm. But it's funny how they say, oh, we're not issuing no-knock warrants anymore. And yet that was fully clear as day, a no-knock warrant where they just bust through the doors and you see him kicking his couch that he was sleeping on, jostling him awake. And then, of course, he reacted. He didn't react the right way, obviously, but I just wish they would do a little bit more investigation into this particular case. But that's just me. And of course, comment down below or, comment in the chat. I understand everybody has there are varying degrees of opinions with that particular story. But I know for a fact that I did not want to go another show without actually talking about that. Okay. There is more to this article. Let me just grab that really quick so that you guys can see it too. They continue. They say these circumstances are such that an objectively reasonable officer in Officer Mark Hanneman's position would have perceived an immediate threat of death or bodily harm that was reasonably likely to occur, and an objectively reasonable officer would not delay in using deadly force, according to the statement of the Attorney General. So this is, of course, the family's attorney Jeff Storm said, this is a disappointing day for the family. I wish that they could have brought more justice, at least more awareness into this particular story, and that this is an open and shut case. And I really don't see it as an open and shut case, but that's just, like I said, my own opinion. Okay. But of course, we got to get into these other stories. Sorry, I'm a little tired today. But we got to get into this next story. And this is one of the main things that I wanted to bring up. I just got this in an email from one of the members of the family. So I appreciate the support. I really, really do. But I wanted to bring up this particular story too. There's a young woman that is missing. And let me pull up her photo real quick. And this lovely young woman by the name of Ariana Taylor is missing right now. She is 23 years old. And I want to talk to you guys about it because we need to bring awareness to this situation. She's another missing young woman that's out here, was last seen in Indiana somewhere. We're going to get into that story here very, very quickly. But she is right now missing, and she's been missing for a few days now. And I wanted to bring this up now so that we can talk about this now, so we can bring awareness, so we can keep our eyes open. And if you happen to see Ariana somewhere, maybe we can bring her home quicker. Okay. So, because the more you sit on a story and wait, the more that woman or that person, the longer that person is in harm's way, or the longer they're missing. So let's talk about this story real quick, okay? So Lake County, Indiana, woman, 23 years old, missing days after car is found crashed off of I-80 94. So police are concerned. Police and concerned family are searching the area where the crashed car of a woman who was reported missing from Lake County, Indiana, was found over the weekend. Ariana Taylor, 23 years old, went missing in unincorporated Lake County over the weekend. Police initially said she was 24 years old, but later clarified that she was actually 23. And I understand information flies like crazy nowadays, right? Family and friends said no one has seen or heard from her since Saturday night. So, Kijan, hopefully I'm saying his name right, Graham, the father of Taylor's 4-year-old son, was part of the search on Tuesday and said he last exchanged texts with her late Saturday night when she told him she would be by in the morning to pick him up. He said at the time she was out with friends at several bars in Valparaiso, something like that. He said her friends brought her home to her parents' house, where she then insisted on leaving in her own vehicle. I just need answers. My son loves his mom, he said. Gary police said Sunday morning they found her SUV crashed and badly damaged about 1,000 yards off the road in a heavily brush-covered area near the junction of I-70, 94, and I-65. They said no one was inside. So I got a clip here. I want to show this to you guys here, but real quick, it says, since the car was empty, investigators can't even be sure Ariana was actually driving the SUV at the time. The keys were not in the vehicle. The second phone, the second phone that the family says she has, we don't have. I guess this is from one of the officers that's actually investigating this. This is the actual Gary Police Commander Jack Hamady is saying this right here. Taylor's family said she remains missing as of Tuesday. So this is still fresh. So she's still missing as of Tuesday, and they believe there is foul play involved. Her bloody blue jean torn pants and allegedly Air Force Ones. It looked like my daughter was being chased off the expressway right there. Interesting. I'm not even sure if she was driving. This is what her mother said, Queena Taylor. I have a hunch of foul play. I think we all have a hunch of foul play too, don't you? Don't you all think? I can't speculate and put anything in perspective, but I can say foul play. Gary police are leading the investigation. Graham just hopes what he's been telling their son turns out to be true. He keeps saying, "Mommy," and I just keep telling him She's going to return. She's going to come home soon. She's going to pick you up. And that's, he said, and that's all off hopes. It's just what I want to happen. So she is described as a Black woman, 5'6" tall and 200 pounds. She is last seen wearing a red sweater, ripped blue jeans, and gym shoes. So I have one more time. Let me show you her face real quick before we go into this news clip where they're covering this story. But this is Ariana Taylor. Again, this is Ariana Taylor, everybody. And if you guys can, please share her photo, clip this video out, post it on the Instagrams, the Twitters, everywhere, social medias, spread the word. Again, she is 23 years old. She is a Black woman. She is 5'6" tall. She is 200 pounds. She was last seen wearing a red sweater, ripped blue jeans, and gym shoes. Sneakers. Okay? Beautiful young woman. Now is missing. So I want to show you guys, and of course, if you know of anything, please call the Gary Police Crime Tip Line, which is 1-866-CRIME-GP. Again, it is 1-866-CRIME-GP. I got this clip, this news clip that I want to show you guys, share with y'all. Hopefully we can get some more information out there so that we can bring this young woman home. To show you guys this. That's no bueno. Look at that car. Holy cow. Did the car roll? It looks like the car rolled. It looks like maybe somebody tried to drive her off the road so much that she lost control of the car and the car rolled. Look at that. Look at the back of the ride. Look at that. That's insane, y'all. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at it. Look at this, y'all. You can't even drive on the highway anymore without somebody lurking. And if you see this pole, this is a fence pole post that went through the windshield over on the side. So imagine, she most definitely was in pain. Excuse me. She's most definitely in pain. Look at this. Look at it. So somebody was following her, and there was I guess it turned into some sort of high-speed chase, ran her off the road, car flipped, and then maybe that person dragged her out the car and drove off. I mean, come on, man. Because here's the thing. If she really was hurt, if she was badly hurt, they would have found her. She wouldn't have gotten very far. Somebody picked her up and took her. For sure. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry for breaking it so much, but here it is. Let me just say this though too. What if the other option is this? What if, now just ride with me, y'all. Okay? But what if she wanted to drive, somehow whoever got in the car against her will, they started to drive. This is like a Naomi Irion situation. Hear me out. Somebody tries to take her. She complies. She sits over on the other seat, let's just say. And instead of her actually getting ran off the road, what if she actually retaliates? What if she actually started throwing them hands and feet to the point where person who has the car loses control of the car, it flips a whole bunch. And then, I don't know. Then I don't know, maybe he called somebody and that somebody came up, picked them up, and they left. I mean, I know that's a crazy thought, but she either had somebody in that ride with her and things went crazy, things went awry, and she defended herself like any person would, 95% of the time, or she was chased and lost control of the car. It just seems so weird, because if this If she just had a car accident, then somebody would have called. Like, she would have called somebody. She wouldn't have just gotten out of the car and just disappeared. So this is
missing.
You know, I really do hope that they figure this out. You see what I'm saying? Like, I really do hope that they get some answers here, because this is not good. And I know that a lot of us hate that feeling of we don't know what the story is. You see what I'm saying? We don't know what leads us to the truth. And of course, we're gonna speculate. Of course, we're all gonna theorize and speculate. We all are gonna do that because we don't know everything. But we wish we would. And of course, our imaginations are going to run wild with this whole situation, trying to figure out what happened to her. Why did this happen to her? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm hoping that, like, I know a lot of freeways and highways don't really have security cameras and stuff, but maybe they do in that area. I don't know, hopefully they can figure something out here. And they can find something. There's got to be a local street somewhere, or security cam footage from a building or a store that's right off of that highway that can maybe show a little bit of something, so that we can actually find out where this young woman is. Okay. But again, this is her face. This is Ariana Taylor. Okay. She is 23 years old. She is 5'6" tall. She is 200 pounds. She was last seen wearing a red sweater, ripped jeans, and sneakers. And you can call the Gary Police Crime Tip Line at 1-866-CRIME-GP, as in Gary Police GP. So again, 1-866-CRIME-GP. Okay? And hopefully we can bring this young woman home as quickly as possible. Simone Abundance just said this, and that's a very good question. What time of night? It sounds like it was late in the night. They were out kicking it. She was out kicking it with her girls, having a grand old time. And then I guess she wanted to drive home. She wanted to go home. And so it was a late Saturday night. That's all they say. They don't tell us a time. And hopefully we'll get more information about, like, the timeline and whatnot as we get closer, as they get closer to more information and all that. But from what we understand, I mean, yeah, she might have been ran off the road, or the same thing that happened with Naomi Irion. Maybe the same thing happened to her. God forbid if that did. But period, let's see if we can bring this young woman home as quickly as possible. This is all the information that we have right now. So hopefully they'll get more information out here really, really soon. But like I said, y'all, we all need to be careful with each other. We need to keep an eye on each other. Even myself, I'm telling my siblings, yo, please text me when you get home. I mean, I'm serious. If I go and hang out with them, so on and so forth, I'm sitting there going, yo, you text me when you get home, period. I just want to make sure you got home in one piece. We live in a crazy world. We live in some crazy ass times. And a lot of people don't give two damns about anybody else's livelihood unless it's for profit. So I'm being dead ass. We need to be more protective over our loved ones. And if you go out with your friends and all that, I know it's corny. Even the fellas, I'm telling you, I know it's cheesy, and really, some guys will be like, yeah, man, this real film, I don't care. If you're out with your friends and you guys are out late and stuff like that, hey, they're snatching everybody up in this piece. Hide your kids, hide your wives, and hide your husbands too, okay? They're taking everybody up in this piece. So that's, even my friends, I'll sit there and go, yo, man, could you just text me when you get home, just so I know you got home, okay? That's it. I know it's not manly, it's not, you know what I mean? Testosterone heavy, but at the same time, we need to be safe out here, period. I don't care. I don't care how emasculating that is. I'd rather know that my friends arrived alive than for them to disappear. And then they're like, what happened to, you know what I'm saying? I got better things to do than do that. And I love my friends. They're precious to me. You know what I'm saying? So I urge you guys to do the same. And we're marching into a weekend here very, very soon. You know, I just say turn that into a habit. Or it's even this. You put it into a group text. That's it. You know what I'm saying? You know, we all have our group of friends that we all talk together. If you just make one of those group texts and just say, hey, I'm home, then everybody knows. Everyone's cool. But ladies, especially too out here, real talk. Nowadays, people are getting more and more desperate. Inflation, gas prices are going up, all this ish that's going down. We got wars going on across the ocean. That we might go into a WW2 or WW3, I'm sorry. All this craziness that's going on. People are desperate out here to make a buck. Be careful with you. Be careful. Create a group chat with all your people that you rock with and talk to all the time. And just if they don't even need to know why you're sending out a text like, I got home safe. It don't matter. At least they have that information. Because you know for a fact, out of that group of people, you're hanging out at least with one of them over that weekend. That's it. That's all I ask. Even the fellas. Yeah, I'm talking to you fellas. Y'all do the same damn thing. Forget all this emasculating crap. Okay? We've transcended that BS. They're harvesting our organs too. Real talk. So let's be safe. Period. I'll step down from my soapbox on this one. Okay? So please put that in consideration and let's get the movie. Let's get the stories moving here. Okay? So we went into that and we need to bring her home. Okay? Just like the many other people that we've been covering over the past year. Okay? And I hope that this particular story doesn't end in tragedy. Real talk. But of course, we got to go into some stuff. We got to go into the next top story, and it's our first story, or the first title in the title down below, and it has to do with Will Smith. Let me say this, okay? Laura Strada, I am tired, but I'm pushing through it because I love you guys, and I want to keep telling you guys stories. And even my dogs are trying to keep me awake. You see what I'm saying? They losing their damn minds. Okay, so here it is, guys. Joanna, I do appreciate it. I love you back. Thank you so much. Okay. Priya, yes, let us be safe. We need to be safe nowadays, period. But we need to go into this next story, y'all. We need to go into this next story. And I see over almost 900 souls watching the show right now. I appreciate all y'all for being on. Do me that solid. Hit that like button down below. Send it past 400 likes. That's all I'm asking. 400 likes. Hit that like button past 400 likes right now. Doesn't cost a thing. It helps this show get out here. And I also have to say this too, okay? It helps get the story of Ariana Taylor out there even more, because more people will look at it. More eyeballs will see it. All that stuff. So please hit that like button past 400 likes. If it's not for me, it is for her. Okay? Period. So let's get into this topic. We got to get into this story. And it has to do with Will Smith. It's the top story. And this is interesting. Some interesting information. And it's small. But I got two little stories. Not videos, but two stories I got to do surrounding around Will Smith, Jada, and the slap seen and heard around the world. Okay? So we got to go into this story. Let's get into it, shall we? Okay. Well, we already know. Real quick, we already know that Will Smith is supposed to be hooking up, sitting down, and having a conversation with the Academy Awards here on the 18th of April. This is what they said. They're going to get together, they're going to have a conversation, and they're going to come up with their own decision by the 18th of April so that they can sit down and talk to him. Well, funny thing is now it's been moved up. And guess when? You won't even believe it. Tomorrow. But we're going to look into this, okay? Will Smith Academy moves up meeting to discuss sanctions following Chris Rock slap. Now, I already said it a million times. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please look at my other videos. You've been sleeping under a rock if you don't know what's going on. not Chris Rock, an actual physical rock that you've been sleeping under. Okay. So Will Smith's life is still being flipped and turned upside down following his one-sided slap battle with Chris Rock. It has been announced that the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences will move up its annual meeting to address possible sanctions for Will Smith, who slapped Chris Rock at this year's Oscars for making a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's bald head. The meeting will now take place April 8th. I'm going to say that again, April 8th instead of April 18th. In a letter to the Board of Governors, Academy President David Rubin said the original date was set in accordance with California law and our standards of conduct because the agenda included possible suspension or expulsion of Will Smith's membership. So, of course, he resigned from the Academy. This is Will Smith. And of course, he said this on April 1st, on Fool's Day, April Fool's Day. A fool wrote a resignation letter on April Fool's Day. But he said, my actions at the 94th Academy Awards presentation were shocking, painful, and inexcusable. The list of those I have hurt is long and includes Chris, his family, many of my dear friends and loved ones, all those in attendance, and global audiences at home. I betrayed the trust of the Academy. I deprived other nominees and winners of their opportunity to celebrate and be celebrated for their extraordinary work. I am heartbroken. I want to put focus back on those who deserve attention for their achievements and allow the Academy to get back to the incredible work it does to support creativity and artistry in film. This is what he said in his resignation, okay? When he resigned, okay? According to Rubin's letter, Will's resignation means that previous suspension, expulsion, disciplinary actions that were being considered against him are, quote unquote, no longer a possibility, and the legally prescribed timetable no longer applies. Interesting. So as soon as Will Smith said, lo siento, I am resigning. My name is Amigo. You know what I'm saying? Like he just said, I'm done. You see what I'm saying? They said, well, if you are resigning, then we don't have to do much work here. Bet. So why don't we just move this thing up and call it a damn day? That's what I'm seeing this as. Like you did all the heavy lifting for us. If you're resigning and you staying, you keeping to your word, you ain't gonna pull a Jay-Z on us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm back. Like, no. Real talk. You resign, you resign. If you are, let's move this thing up so we can nip this thing in the bud and move this forward. But don't pull a Jay-Z and say, don't pull a Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Don't pull it. Just you out. Period. So this is what it says. Fellow governors, dear fellow governors. This is so funny. Let me blow this up for you guys so you guys can see this too. We can follow the bouncing ball, right? I'm calling a board meeting for this Friday morning, April 8th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, rather than the previously scheduled April 18th meeting to address possible sanctions for Will Smith in response to his actions during the Oscars broadcast on March 27th. The April 18th date was set in accordance with California law and our standards of conduct because our agenda included a possible suspension and expulsion of Mr. Smith from membership. We were required to provide Mr. Smith notice 15 days prior to the board meeting to which such action might be taken, and also give him the opportunity to provide the board a written statement no less than 5 days prior to the meeting. Interesting. Following Mr. Smith's resignation of his Academy membership on Friday, April 1st, suspension or expulsion are no longer a possibility, and the legally prescribed timetable no longer applies. It is in the best interest of all involved for this to be handled in a timely fashion. Thank you for arranging to assemble on Friday morning at 9 a.m. Zoom details will follow soon. Wow. So, don't know why that last word was hard to say, or sentence was hard. Don't know why that last sentence was hard to say, but hey, it is what it is. This is what happens when you're sleep deprived like a mug. But hey, real quick, I got a super chat. Let me do this really quick. Cluttered like my head. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Thank you for always being a class act and the voice of reason in these YouTube streets. And I know I changed it to streets, but streets. Thank you. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat, Cluttered. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just trying to tell these stories, keep you guys interested, keep you guys thinking, and I appreciate your support. Seriously, I know that I'm not always going to be talking about Will Smith and all that ish, but I do appreciate you being here and having a conversation with me about all the other stuff aside from Will Smith. Okay. But speaking of Will Smith, we got to talk about this. Okay. So they said, hey, since we don't have to sit here and fight over the idea of him being expelled or being suspended, he's resigning. So we don't have to do that part anymore. So this conversation, so there's two different ways. There's a fork in the road where I think this is going to go, and ride with me, or you don't have to ride with me on this. But my theories is this. One ride is this. They're going to sit here and go, one road is this. The road of, well, he already did all the heavy lifting, so we don't have to do anything anymore. You know what I mean? Just don't do that again. Man, that's one. Okay. Since he's already resigned. Right. Or they're going to go down another route and they're going to say, well, he resigned, so we can't suspend him. We can't expel him for a while, or, we can't expel him for good. Maybe we just take the statue. Maybe we just take the award. Because what he did was wrong, period. Point blank, wrong, full stop. But how is he really going to know what he did was really wrong, and how we feel as a board, and how that resonates and represents for the Academy, especially on top of everything? Right? The slap, it was internationally televised. I mean, it is translated in Japanese. Like that's international. I'm surprised the Australian version didn't go, oh no, Will Smith gets smacked in the face. You know what I mean? Chris Rock got smacked in the face. Crikey. I'm surprised there wasn't a translation for that too. Real talk. So, with that being said, when all this goes down, he's going to have his cake and eat it too still, because he's still going to be an Academy Award winner. He's still going to go down in history as Best Actor. I don't know how many black men have won it, but, one of the few black men that have won Best Actor in a lead role in a movie. You see what I'm saying? So he's still going to get his cake and gobble it too. And I don't know. Just saying. Now, Sweet Indigo 45, thank you so much. I can't pull this up on here, unfortunately, but I do appreciate you being a member for the past 6 months. I appreciate every bit of support that you've given to the show. I thank you. But you said basically you got away with it. Boom. Exactly, Sweet Indigo. It's kind of like him saying, this is Ruben basically saying, and I said this before when Will Smith put out his resignation, Dave Rubin basically said, this doesn't mean nothing to me. This resignation still does not slow us down. We still going to chop it up and we're going to talk about your fate, period. It doesn't matter. Just because you're getting in front of this does not save you. If you want to resign, that's on you. But we still got to punish your ass because what you did is wrong. And you ain't about to just walk out here with this on the free 99. No, you don't smack people. You don't smack people. You just don't do that, G. You just don't. Laura, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. I appreciate it. Oh, the fox is cute. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Number one. No, you're number one. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Okay. But yes, D. Sanders, exactly. There is still no accountability really with the academy. The academy still needs to get something from him. And so they're going to have their meeting. And this meeting is going to basically say, does his resignation letter / apology, does it suffice? Will it be enough for any of us? Real talk. Just saying. Will it be enough? And I think that David Rubin is basically saying, it's not enough. It ain't enough for me. So we're going to sit down. We're going to talk about that. We're going to chop it up. That's weird. We're going to chop it up. And we're going to talk about this whole thing because what you did in this situation was wrong as hell. And you shouldn't have done what you did. And by you going out here and going, I resign. It's kind of like, remember those times, for those of y'all who had siblings and stuff, and you do that whole thing where you keep roughhousing and all that, and or maybe it's a tickle fight or something like that. And out of nowhere, everyone just says, truce. Like, no, you tickled me first, homie. You still going to get the tickle. You still going to, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still going to, punch you on your shoulder, you jerk. You know what I'm saying? Don't matter how many times. Like, no. So you get to hit me a bunch of times. And then as soon as I come to you, you scream out truce and suddenly it's everything's okay. No, I'm still going to hit you. I'm still going to punch you on the shoulder. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like that. Truce. I resign, everybody. I resign. And David Rubin's going, I don't care if you call truce. You're still going to get this punch on this shoulder. So we're going to get together. We're going to still talk. I know you got Whoopi Goldberg, who's also a board of the governors, and she's got Will Smith's back. She is ride or die. But at the same time, there's a lot of other people out there that feel some type of way about what he has done. So there's that story. Like I said, the plot just keeps on thickening, okay? And what I found surprising is that they moved it up so quickly. And I think it's because maybe they have already made a final decision on what they're going to end up doing to Will Smith. And I think that tomorrow morning, I think tomorrow morning will be the final. I think tomorrow morning will be the final story that we cover about Will Smith and the Oscars. Now, with him finding the apology, finding forgiveness from Chris Rock, that might take a long time. And the whole thing with Jada and all that. But I feel like tomorrow will be the last story that we cover about Will Smith for a little while, and I cannot wait for that. I'm just saying, talking about this for 11 days now, bruh. I mean, it's been real, but I can't wait to talk about other topics and tell other stories. But I know this is something that y'all are that you guys care about, and I want to keep feeding you guys those stories. And of course, these are not easy. This whole situation with Will Smith is a very interesting situation. And also the other thing, I see Nur in the corner of my eye say something. Let me find that really quick. Here it is. And maybe she's saying something about something else in the chat, but I want to point this out. 30 days in jail, pay restitution, and go on a long trip to rehab. I agree with the restitution side, and I do agree with the rehab. But the thing is, though, they've already been saying, hey, guys, he's going to go in. He's already looking for mental health counseling. He's already doing this, that, and the third. But to me, I feel like he's saying that to look good for right now. I don't think he's talked to anybody yet. I think he's still marinating and going over this whole situation in his head. I don't think he's fully realized the severity of what he's done. That's what I think. If he really did, I don't think he would have come out the very next day with that callous, tone-deaf apology that he initially put out. Basically, violence is such and such and no bounds. And I mean, it's garbage water, just in my personal opinion, garbage water. And then he comes out with another one because the Academy says, "Oh, you about to get reamed up the A. You about to get effed up the A." Real talk. And he said, "Oh, okay. Well, again, I apologize, and I'm going to resign. I'm crying uncle." You know what I'm saying? Truce. And they're going, "Nah, I'm not with it." That's what the Academy is saying. We ain't with it. Mrs. Kelly, yeah, it's garbage water. That's what I think. It's garbage water. So I don't think he's really thinking about what he has done. What this has done to his career, this has done to his family. And like I said, it's a ripple effect. Now we're seeing other people smacking other people on tennis courts. We see T.I. going up and grabbing a microphone and getting upset about a joke. Like it's literally the Will Smith effect now. And that sucks. I said on the other show, it sucks that negative actions have more of a lasting impression on people than actual good moments of kindness, good gestures. I just found it interesting, But, like I said, it's very interesting. We'll see what happens with this situation. And Trent G, I see Trent G saying something. Let me say this, okay? He said, what did he do? He slapped someone, not shoot. Y'all soft. Okay. We ain't trying to be soft. We're talking about this is a much bigger picture than what maybe you're seeing only at the face value. Maybe you aren't. I don't know. But this is a dude that is highly revered. Everyone really, really respects. He is a public figure. He is a face. He's an international face for not only Black actors, Black movies, but just movies and films in general. The positivity, the leadership, the inspiration, all that ish. It's so much bigger than just him slapping a stand-up comedian on a stage. He did something that I think a lot of people would feel was out of hand. Pun intended, high key, low key, and just out of character. Then it's also how he's responding to everything. Like he's messing up his whole bag. Because the other piece of the story that I got too now is that they were working on a biopic off of his book, Will. That movie has now been put on ice. So not only did he have his Bad Boys 4 movie be put on ice, now the biopic that was going to go off of his book, which we all said, we all looked at that movie or all looked at that book and said, yeah, eventually Will Smith's life and career will be a movie. Guaranteed. They already had scripts, like pages of a script already written out, ready to go get things moving on this biopic revolving around Will. Now, there's one thing I'll say, and it's all based off of his biography. But the thing is I'll say this though too. Good. Don't you think it's a little early? He ain't dead. He ain't 90 years old. So why would they do a biopic about Will Smith when he is just getting warmed up? I mean, before he slaps somebody in the face, you feel me? Why would they suddenly sit there and say, let's do a movie about, let's do your bio story. Let's do your biopic. I guarantee you it's not going to be successful. Even before the slap, no one will watch it because it's like, bro, you 50, you still here. You right here, bro. Like, I don't want to see that. Way too soon. Way too soon. And then on top of this, too, by the way, and I've said this before, he is in the redemption part of his story. This is his act 3, if you will, of the movie. Of the biopic that he's putting together right now. He's literally in the middle of his redemption story right now. So he still has his life to write the story. He's going to be shunned. People are not going to want to work with him. Movies are being put on ice. There's another movie that's being put on hold that's already in the can. All these things. They're sitting here saying, no, we shouldn't do the movie. We shouldn't do this biopic. Let's put it on ice because he still has a story to tell. He still has the redemption part of his story. The scandals. Like, this is more scandalous now. His battle with his mental health. How he finds the light at the end of the tunnel with his battle with mental health. So on and so forth. Like I said, we are in the redemption part of his story. We are living his biopic right now. Dude, 50. Dude in his 50s, man. Why would he be putting out? Like Ray Charles, he was dead when that movie came out. When Ray came out. Jamie Foxx killed that movie, but still, him dead. And the movie came out. Will Smith in his 50s, yo. He gonna be alive until he's 90. If he keeps going after what, keeps being healthy like what he has been. He hadn't keeled over and died. Why are they doing a biopic on his biography? Wait like 20, 30 years. Damn. You know what I'm saying? And then if he ends up going to rehab, if he's going to any of those things, whatever the rehab is going to be, because apparently he doesn't drink or do drugs. So why are you working on a biopic about your damn life when you're still got the rest of your career to keep building and making amazing things happen? This is the reason why the Rock movie TV show is not doing well. I don't even know if that show's on the air anymore. But the Rock show isn't doing very well because everyone's like, you're right here. Why is this story a sitcom? No one cares about that. Talk about him when he's retired, old. Dude still got a whole lot of miles in him. Have you seen The Rock? He got 7 million miles left in that tank. Same thing with Will Smith. So just no, stop. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I'm sorry. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Not Everybody Hates Chris. Not that one. I'm talking about Dwayne The Rock Johnson. That show, from my understanding, isn't doing as well as it should be. Or as it could be if he was, you see what I'm saying? If he was older. He's still got a lot of miles in his tank, just like Will Smith. That's why a biopic, I think, is the most ridiculous thing to try to get up and going. I think is a big, big old waste of time. But I got another story for you guys. We got to look at this too. And yes, we got to look at that too, Zozo Bob. That's some big news too. Breaking, Ketanji Brown Jackson has been confirmed as Supreme Court Judge 5346. That's big. Big news. After all the BS she went through, let's go. Let's go. That's how you drive, Ketanji. That's how you drive, okay? Period. And, of course, thank you so much for the $2 super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Oflow77. But, okay, we got another story. We got this other part, okay? That was big news, by the way, breaking right here on the Pascal Show. So if you appreciate that, hit that like button down below. Send it past 600 likes real quick. That would really, really mean a lot to me. We got to go into this new piece of footage that has been, it's not new, it's old, but it's resurfaced. And you can kind of see a little bit of the dynamics between Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith. Will Smith ain't having it in this video. We're going to look at it here in a second, the video. But we got to go into this article. Will Smith pleads with Jada to stop discussing marriage in old IG Live clip. And we're going to look at this here in a second. Will Smith has been shown pleading for his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, to stop filming during a live Instagram broadcast in a resurfaced clip. In the clip, which is shared on Reddit on Thursday. So yes, so today, Pinkett Smith discussed having a therapist and author, Esther Perel, as a guest on a show, Red Table Talk. After announcing that Perel was coming to the table, Pinkett Smith, 50, asked her movie star husband, 53, would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship? Now, I'm not going to read the rest of this article because you can see this for yourselves. It's pretty damn amazing. And he's just not having it. She goes, hey, what do you think? So on and so forth about this. And just shoves the camera in his face. Let's see what he has to say.
I would say, don't just start filming me without asking me.
Oh my goodness.
If you could film me.
Esther, come help us again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Because she don't just.
Would you say that she helped us heal the hurts that we caused between one another?
My social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media and not, don't just start I'm standing in my house. I would say, don't just start filming me without asking me.
Oh my goodness.
If you could film me.
Esther, come help us again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Because she don't just.
Would you say that she helped us heal the hurts that we caused between one another?
My social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media and not, don't just start I'm standing in my house.
That's a little weird, don't you think? A little awkward? Wouldn't you say that's a little awkward, y'all? That's a little awkward. I'm gonna be real. That's a little awkward. I mean, seeing them and doing this, and he's sitting there going like, and it's almost like he's trying to be funny, but it's not coming off like it's funny, because he's like, yo, man, I'm trying to just like do my thing here, and you got this phone all up in my face now with your IG stories and all that, letting people know what I'm doing, so on and so forth. Like, let me live. Can a brother live? Can I live? Can I? That's what it seems like. But it's almost like he's trying to be funny, but it's a very sad attempt at trying to be funny. He looks tired. This dude looks tired. Somebody said his eyes are puffy like he was crying. Nah, I don't think about the crying. I think he's just tired. I think he is just worn out. I think he is worn out. I think this woman or this relationship, because I can't put all the blame on her. Like I said, it takes two, baby. It takes two to tangle. And he's allowing whatever's happening in that relationship. So this relationship, I think, is running him ragged. That's what I think. I think he looks tired as hell. I think he is really reaching for some patience in his heart. But I think at the same time, he's sitting there going, well, damn, I just wanted to chill. I just wanted to hang out with my wife. I'm just here chilling, doing whatever I'm doing here, whatever he's standing there for. And then all of a sudden, she's just throwing the phone in his face, her live IG. And then he's sitting there going like, my presence on my social media is my bread and butter. I'm gonna play that piece one more time because I think that's very important to hear one last time, because it just breaks it all the way down. And then we got this big story that's popping off we got to talk about here very shortly. Oops.
Don't just start filming me without asking me
Oh my goodness.
if you could film me.
Esther, come help us again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
I'm still dealing with foolishness, and and it's almost like she's trying to like roll it off her back, like ha ha, we're just being funny, but it just seems like really tired. It just looks tired. You know what I'm saying? It's tired, worn out, passive aggressiveness. That's what it looks like to me. You know what I'm saying?
Because she don't just.
Would you say that she helped us heal the hurts that we caused between one another?
My social media presence is my bread and butter. Okay. So you can't just use me for social media.
See that? So wouldn't you say she did some really great stuff, blah, 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 for our relationship, so on and so forth. And then he's just like, my social media presence is my bread and butter. So I really don't appreciate you putting me on live without asking for my permission to be on live. Okay. But here it is, though. Let me say this, though, too. You got to remember, this is Will Smith we're talking about. We talking about Will Smith. One of the biggest, highest paid actors out here. This is a movie store. If he utters, I love McDonald's, you know, for a fact, McDonald's prices are, you know what I'm saying? Their sales are going to go up because somebody going to be like, yo, I need to go get that McRib. Man, Will Smith said about them McRibs are fire. Just saying. So you don't think he's probably like, I don't want people knowing my mess. I don't need people knowing that this counselor, this marriage counselor came in and saved us. I ain't ready for this. Bruh. So you want me to endorse somebody? He might be thinking that too. You want me to endorse who? We paid her to show up and save this marriage. If she wants an endorsement, she should pay me. Where the check at? You spell Smith with S-M-I-T-A. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget the extra zero at the end of the check. Ridiculous. But it definitely shows a side of this relationship that's clearly all messed up. And still is. There's obviously something. There's a thorn in the side of this relationship that still has not fully been either pulled out, or the wound where the thorn actually was has not fully healed. Because if it did, none of this stuff would have happened. And I know we are all out here speculating, watching as if we are a fly on the wall and all that. But at the same time, we're not there during their most intimate moments. We're not there during their arguments. We're not there during their counseling moments and all that. We all only have the things that we have here, which we can only assess and see with our own two eyes. And from what I see here, what I see in this particular video, I see a man who's just tired. And I see a man who has tried to do everything he can to keep this marriage strong and keep this woman happy. I think he's very, and I've said it on the show before, but I think he's very conservative in the confines of a relationship. I'm not talking politically. I'm talking about within the relationship spectrum, because there's very liberal, which is, I think, Jada Pinkett, and then there's very conservative, which I think Will Smith is. I think he's very conservative, like husband, wife, kids, the traditional breakdown of what we are used to from like the 1950s up in this piece. Jada's not a part of that world. So she's changing. She's different. And I think he's trying to do as much as he can to accommodate for her so that he can keep this relationship strong. But I think it's destroying him on the inside. It's killing him. And it sucks. It's tragic that this is the turn of events on such a beautiful couple, on the exterior. But like I said, we're going to see here very, very soon what will transpire. What is the fate of Will Smith and his Oscar award? We should be finding that out by tomorrow afternoon. Midday tomorrow, mid-morning tomorrow. They have a meeting at 9 a.m. So Pacific Standard Time. So Central Standard Time by lunch, I'm hoping. By lunchtime, my time, hopefully we will have an answer on what ends up happening. And hopefully that will close a chapter on the Academy Awards side of things. But when it comes to the relationship between Will Smith, Chris Rock, and Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, we can only sit back, wait, and see what happens. I mean, obviously there's speculation and stories floating around that Jada might be having Will on the Red Table Talk, which I don't think that is the greatest idea. I think it's the worst idea. The one place that emasculated him more than ever, he would go back to. I think it's the worst idea. If he really wants it to be a even playing field, that's why I said, hey, if you're going to do an interview and you want to get in front of this publicly and do a public apology to Chris Rock, the Academy, and all the people that watched, then you bring in somebody who is neutral. You bring in Oprah Winfrey type. You bring in a Gayle King type. You see what I'm saying? You bring in somebody that's willing to be sitting on the fence, just listening to the stories and listening to the answers of the questions that they throw at you, period. You bring it on the Red Table Talk. Not only is your wife exploiting you for her own financial gain and her own show's success, but also it is a one-sided conversation. And I think it gives them more reign to try to mess you up again. And then we catch you slipping somewhere else. And we don't need to see that. We don't. We need to see him winning. Period. You know? April loves golf. Yeah, I know. It's slim pickings out here for like the names that do interviews. I mean, he could use Dr. Phil. Tell me, Will. You know what I mean? I don't know about, you know what I'm saying? But as far as names, you know what I'm saying? Is Barbara Walters making interviews anymore? I mean, shoot. You know what I'm saying? Diane something. There's a Diane something. I forgot the name. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And then Joe Rogan would be interesting. Man, I would just be like, yo, just roll him a blunt. Give him that blunt and just be like, yo, bruh, my brother, Will, inhale, exhale, and chill. Just chill. I would kill if Joe Rogan just broke into song. Steve Harvey, that could work too, but I feel like he'd just be like the entire time. You know what I'm saying? Baba Waba. Yep. Baba Waba. Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of people, but Joe Rogan would be very interesting for real. Joe Rogan would be amazing. Joe Rogan would be very interesting, but I don't think it would be the right platform. I don't think it'd be the right platform. He can always do the show. He can always do an interview over here. Shoot. I'd love that. I'd love to sit across from Will and be like, what's up with that, bro? Why? Why did that happen? You know what I'm saying? Why did that happen? Why did you do five? What did five fingers say to the face? You know what I'm saying? I'd kill for that. But like I said, totally different story, totally different Charles Dickens story. So, guys, hit that like button down below. Send that past 600 likes. That would really mean a lot. It doesn't cost anything, but it helps this channel more than you know. So please hit that like button down below. Send it past 600 likes. It don't cost a damn thing, okay? But we got to go into this next story, and this is a very, very interesting story indeed. There is an OnlyFans model that took her boyfriend's life. I'll just say that by using a knife multiple times to his body. It sucks. I have to use all these dang keywords and you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But we definitely got to talk about this because this is a weird and crazy story. and there's a possibility she might be walking like with no bail whatsoever. So we got to talk about this. And this is the story of these two. Her name is Courtney Taylor, and his name is Christian Obumseli. Nice looking couple. She is an OnlyFans model. Well, she's also on IG and all that stuff. She has a very, very successful IG channel. Where she makes a lot of content, models and stuff like that. She's an OnlyFans model. She's an IG model. She's got 2 million followers on IG, and a lot of her stuff is what else do you think? She's an IG model. So a lot of it's scantily clad and doing what she does in photos. So we need to do this. We need to talk about this because this is a wild story, y'all. And from my understanding, from what you see on Twitter and Instagram, the stories that we're hearing about both of them and the stories that we're hearing about their relationship, at least on the surface, they're saying that they are two very loving, wonderful, wonderfully happy people, that they were very happy together. But this had a very interesting turn of events. So let's go here. Man dies after being stabbed in luxury Miami condo. Girlfriend has been detained. Now, what's interesting is that they have not released her name, but everybody knows who, like family and all that, have already exposed and put her name out there in these streets. So we got to talk about this. So an investigation is underway after a man was fatally stabbed inside a luxury apartment in Miami, in a luxury apartment building in Miami. Officers responded to one Paraiso residences in 3131 Northeast Avenue in the Edgewater neighborhood around 5 p.m. on Sunday, a spokesperson for the Miami Police Department told Newsweek. On arrival, they found a 27-year-old Christian his nickname is Christian Toby Obumseli, had been stabbed once in the chest. He was transported to Jackson Memorial Hospital's trauma center, where he died. The police spokesperson said Obumseli's girlfriend was detained at the scene and later taken to a mental health institution under Florida's Baker Act, which allows a police officer, judge, or mental health professional to involuntarily commit a person for a 72-hour evaluation. Her identity was not released. We already know her name, though. Like I said, her name is Courtney Taylor. Instagram OnlyFans model Courtney Taylor. This is obviously Christian right here, Obumseli. We know that there was a physical altercation between them before he was stabbed, the police spokesperson said, adding that she had been the first to call 911. The case is still under investigation. So I have more. So we got to go into this. They said that the friends told NBC Miami that he lived in the building with his girlfriend, and that they had moved to Florida from Texas sometime in the past couple years. These are our two friends we've gone on vacation with, we go to dinners with, we go out on the town with them, and it seems like it's straight out of a crime documentary, Josh Ramsey told the station. We would have never guessed it would have escalated to this point. I think I speak for the whole friend group. We are just shocked, very distraught about this. So crazy, right? And let me throw up this super chat really quick because I don't want to miss it. Laura Estrada, can we celebrate Ketanji Brown Jackson's confirmation? Yes, we will definitely do something with that in a little bit. For right now, I got to tell this story. So I appreciate the $5 super chat. Thank you. But yes, we will talk about that here in a little while. Okay, so obviously, this is a terrible situation. This is what's going on. Now, I have a few other things from Hollywood Unlocked. I'm sorry. Now, family seeks answers after man is stabbed taken by influencer girlfriend who is now claiming mental illness. Now, here's the thing, though. Just to go back on this here really, really quick, given the fact that they claimed that this was under Florida's Baker Act, basically saying that, hey, if she is coming off like she wants to unalive herself or do something heinous or harmful to herself, they basically are issuing like, we need to take her in because we don't want her to get hurt. But we all seen Jussie Smollett basically say, I am not Sean Kingston, in hopes that maybe he would get a better place to stay so that he's out of, he's not in harm's way of criminals and thugs. That's what I think with Juicy Smollett. So I feel like this is also the same thing where she did what she did, but at the same time, there's also the shock of doing said thing. I'm sure this woman never thought that this would have ever happened, that she would ever have somebody perish by her own hands. There's also the shock of that and all. God knows what it is. From what they say, they loved each other very much. But this turned deadly. And now this man is no longer here. So God knows what's going on in her mind, what's happened. But at the same time, it is kind of BS that she is claiming mental health issues. If it wasn't mentally inspired, if that makes any sense. Because if she's just enraged about something, that doesn't automatically say that is mental health. But she could be crying wolf, or she could very well be shook to the core because of taking this young man's life. But let's get into it. So a family is seeking answers after a young man is taken in his Miami home by his girlfriend. Christian Obunselli was reportedly unalived by his girlfriend, Courtney Taylor, who boasts on OnlyFans and 2 million Instagram followers. So she has a lot of followers. Seriously. Zozo Bob just said, okay, the police determined initially if you should be Baker acted. You know what? And that's true too. But you could pull an act for sure. You can amp it up. You see what I'm saying? You can sit there and go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You could do that all day long. And then all of a sudden they go, wait a second. Hold up. No, we're worried about her harming herself. So we're going to do the Baker act. That could be it too. She could put on an act. You see what I'm saying? Because she doesn't want to be in a room full of riffraff. That could be it too. She don't want to be in a room full of criminals, so she's scared. But then at the same time, she could be literally losing her mind given the fact that she'd done something that I don't think she ever thought would ever happen. Okay? Police are calling the incident a domestic dispute, and Taylor is being held for mental evaluation. So she's being held for 72 hours for doing this act and all that. And it's nuts. So there is a Twitter feed that I want to show you guys here revolving around this showing some photos. This is a girl that's friends with the couple, actually was very good friends apparently, very good friends with Courtney, but now she's sitting there going like, I can't believe that this is even going down. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to go into that here in a second. But the incident happened Sunday night at their apartment. The Miami police officials said the officers responded to a report of a man being, attacked or, stabbed at the building. And upon arrival, they found this 27-year-old victim. I don't know if you could say victim. She was the attacker, allegedly, who was taken to a local hospital where, oh, I'm sorry. They found this 27-year-old victim. They're talking about Christian, who was taken to the local hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. And this is terrible, y'all. The fact that he is, like I said, the fact that he is not here anymore. And it was at the hands of someone he loves and trusts. That's messed up. That's really, really messed up. So CBS 4 spoke with Obumseli's close friends who said he was caring and had a great spirit. And of course, there's a GoFundMe I'm going to show you guys here in a second. But let me show you guys this this feed or this thread. So this is from one of her friends. It says, it seems as though this story is being silenced. Courtney Taylor took her boyfriend's life Sunday night in their Miami apartment. She's been Baker acted, so the news can't release her name. It's not confirmed whether or not she took him in his sleep or if he was awake. And this was during an altercation. What we do know is that she did, S-word him, and took his life. Please don't support her in buying any of her content. And as the story unfolds, we will share more. Just wanted to make sure the media doesn't make Christian out to be the bad guy. We're speaking on this because my boyfriend and I were closest to them in friendship, and after talking to the family or to their family, it seems as though they were in a dark. It seems as though that they were in the dark about how toxic the relationship was, and all the abuse that had happened leading up to this. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So then whatever he did, or whatever that was going on in this relationship, turns, because now they're saying that there's a possibility that this relationship was toxic, and it had been like this for a while. And yes, Black Twitter is going to town on this right now. Hence the reason why I'm bringing it up. Because I saw this in the morning and I was like, you know what? We need to talk about this and I already know where people want to go, the route people want to go down. And the thing is that I just think it's very frustrating when you see a relationship of any kind, and it always has to be the thing of, oh, it was a toxic, bad relationship. There was abuse and all that stuff. And it's like, well, then who did who? Who was the bad guy? Or was it both of them abusing each other? But when they see a couple like this, let me pull this up. It's very interesting. It's very quick for everyone to go and assume it's the guy. But we don't know. It's the guy who's the bad guy. But we don't know. And yes, hey, watch this. Apparently he pulled up they have found some pretty messed up tweets where he's like talking down on Black women, praising white women, all that stuff. And it's bad. It's bad. It's not good. It's not good. And the fact that he died at the hands of this white woman in which he was praising and talking down on Black women, it's just not, it's not a good look, period. Not a good look. And it's a little ironical, don't you think? But nevertheless, still, no matter what, it's still a person that's no longer here because he chose the wrong person. He was in the wrong relationship. Whether this woman was white or Black, Asian, doesn't matter what shade she was in. Still, he chose the wrong person to be in a relationship with. And now this woman could walk, allegedly, um, because of whatever claims she wants to have. Now, there's all these videos or these photos from him. This is all allegedly from his stuff. The way black girls disgrace themselves on TV. Once again, I'm tired of these black girls in my government class. Like, wow. It's bad. It's bad. To me, sounds like somebody who might not be, I mean, he's from Nigeria. He's a Nigerian man. And that's the thing, though. I've noticed that there is a lot of BS with Black Americans and then African immigrants. And there's such an interesting divide where you got them sitting there calling their own people, their own race, just they happen to be born in America, throwing out the N-word and calling them, like, downgrading and talking them down, using that racist rhetoric at these other black men and women that just happen to be born in America. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And I've noticed that. I have noticed that a little bit, that there seems to be some sort of righteousness because they came from the motherland and we all just happen to be born here in America. And so next thing you know, they just talk ish. And so there's such an interesting dissonance between natural born black Americans and immigrants that, African born immigrants that come to this country. It's so weird. It's so wild. But this man was talking some serious ish in these tweets. Real talk. Found a woman, fell in love with her. She happened to be white. And then she takes his life. Takes it. And now she's in a psych ward right now. Basically a 5150 type thing. Baker acted because she took this man's life. And God knows what happened. God knows how toxic, as this woman has said, their friend, the family, talking to their family, it seems as though they were in the dark about how toxic their relationship was and all the abuse that happened leading up to this. It makes you wonder what was going on, who did what, and why was this going down? How long was this quote unquote abuse happening? It does make you wonder, but these are some photos of them all together. Hanging out and having a good old time, doing whatever they needed to do. But yes, still a very messed up story. And no matter where you sit on this story, if you're going after this because of him, being with this white woman and he was sitting there dogging black women in tweets, I get that. It's terrible and it's ironic as hell that he is no longer here after talking down on black people in general, American-born black people. And then all of a sudden his white girlfriend kills him. It is very, very interesting. But nonetheless, I do find it very strange that this woman took this man's life. Took his life. And it says it right here in the article. Let me blow this up so you can see it in the nosebleed seats. It says it right here. She allegedly takes his life and is currently facing no charges. Why? That's what I'd like to know. Why? Why is she not facing any charges? She was there. She's the only person there. She did it. She took him. She took the guy's life. And yet she's still going to be able to walk out? She's still going to be able to kick rocks? Man, let's check out this news clip.
Questions after a stabbing death in Miami.
A man allegedly killed by his own girlfriend. So why hasn't she been charged?
Yeah.
Local 10's Nella Sabovic live with details on this. Nella.
The big question is here, was this done in self-defense? Miami police investigators say that this is an ongoing and very active investigation.
Okay. I'm sorry. See, right then and there, that's when I start getting hit. That's when I start getting triggered. So you're telling me that just because, see, this is the part that's very frustrating to me. Because you see, I'm going to throw their photo up again. You see, and it looked like they were a lovely couple. But hey, you see a couple like this. And she could be standing over his body, covered in red, holding the weapon, screaming, I did it. I lost my mind. I had to take him. I had to. Whatever she said, whatever crazy stuff that comes out of her mouth. And instantly they go, well, hold on. Maybe he was attacking you. Well, hold on. Maybe there's another reason here. Are you serious? What? So she's not, what? Well, we need to find out what's really going on here because we don't know what's really going on. It could very well be something happened inside the house. Like, she murdered a dude. She took the dude's life. What more investigation do you need to do? Period. She could walk. Very interesting, y'all. Like I said, this is when privilege seems to start coming into play here, y'all. Wow. I didn't even get, 15 seconds in this bitch? And I'm already going, what? Come on, man. You're telling me, or she's at the police precinct, right, getting her fingerprints and all that stuff done, and she's and they're going, well, wait a second, no, hold up. Now that could be a 5150. Let's Baker acted her ass. It's okay. What? You took the man's life. Where's the investigation? She could just walk? Ay.
Meantime, we spoke with a group of friends that knew this couple very well, and they detail a rocky relationship.
Of course.
It's just heartbreaking.
That doesn't mean anything, though. Do you understand that, y'all? I hope you guys understand. I'm not sitting here praising DVs. I'm not praising abuse. I'm not praising any of that. But you can't automatically say, oh, yeah, no, so he did that. And then suddenly it's like, oh, he did? Okay, then this is fine. No, he is dead. He is no longer here because of her hand, not the other way around. And now they're going to sit here and say that this, I guarantee you this is going to spin into a self-defense situation. Watch.
Everyone is just so devastated.
This trio was very close to 27-year-old Christian Obumseli and his girlfriend, who they've identified as 25-year-old Courtney Clenny, an OnlyFans model and Instagram influencer. So when police reported that Obumseli was fatally stabbed by Clenny on Sunday inside their Miami apartment, the friends were left speechless. They portray a very violent relationship at the hands of only one person.
I've seen her hit him. I've never seen him hit her.
Officers say there was
Oh! Let me hold up. I gotta roll that back. Just a tiny bit. Okay.
a struggle before Obumseli. One person inside their Miami apartment. The friends were left speechless.
Nosebleed seats, by the way, guys. Nosebleed seats. Here we go.
They portray a very violent relationship at the hands of only one person.
Who could that
I've
be?
seen her hit him. I've never seen him hit her.
Officers say there was a struggle before Obumseli was stabbed in the shoulder. He died at the hospital. Investigators are still trying to figure out what happened and if Clenny acted in self-defense.
From what we've personally experienced between the both of them, we believe that like Christian wouldn't put her in a position where she would need to stab him to protect herself.
My. Isn't it funny how the tables turn? You like what I did there? Everyone's thinking we're going down this one road, and then all of a sudden, it goes off to the left. Woo! Because we all thought it was going to be him be the one getting all Ike Turner up in this biznai. But guess what? It's the other way around. She's the one who is putting paws on him all the time. And let me say this really quick before we go on to this. You'd be very surprised how many men are actually being the victim in these situations. But then when 5-0 walks into a room, suddenly they instantly lean to the woman because the woman's the one that's crying and the dude's sitting there like mad as hell. You know what I'm saying? Mad as hell. Going, she put her hands on me, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, hold on, sir. Now you're getting aggressive. And they arrest his ass instead of the girl. It is real. Abuse from women in relationships between men and women do actually exist. The only reason that it isn't out there that much is because men don't talk about it because they think it is extremely emasculating to sit there and say, yeah, my girl does this, that, and the third. And we talked about this on the show before. And look at this now. She has her friends. They're also white. Her white friends that are saying that she's the one who would put her paws on him, not the other way around. But everybody, including myself, when I first read this story, automatically thought that he was the one that was putting his paws on her. Like I said, interesting how the tables turn when you get a little piece when you get a little piece of information like that one. Let's continue.
One neighbor who tells me that he has a very clear view of the couple's apartment said a week before the stabbing, things were off and that Clenny was the one getting physically abused.
I could not tell if it was open-handed or closed-handed, but he was swinging at her.
Police say in the past 3 months, they've responded and that Clenny was the one getting physically.
Christian wouldn't put her in a position where she would need to stab him to protect herself.
One neighbor who tells me that he has a very clear view of the couple's apartment said a week before the stabbing, things were off and that Clenny was the one getting physically abused.
I could not tell if it was open-handed or closed-handed, but he was swinging at her.
Police say in the past 3 months, they've responded to multiple disturbance calls at the couple's apartment. Their mutual friends are still trying to process what went wrong.
Okay. It sounds like they brought a language of violence into their relationship. Real talk. It could very well be a situation where, hey, maybe she was the first to incorporate some love taps, if you get what I'm saying. And then he said, "Oh, if that's our love language, then I'm going to do the two." And I don't condone that behavior at all whatsoever. You should never be able to do that. Period. Okay? You should never do that to people. Never put your hands on somebody because eventually that person is going to either hit back or that person is going to retaliate to a moment where it gets deadly, where it gets violent, where it gets hurt, where people get hurt. Think about Gabby Petito for a second. I'm sorry for bringing that up, but think about it. In my theories, when they got pulled over in Moab, Utah, okay, and the cops were asking him stuff, and she was hitting him in the car, and that's why the car swerved and all that stuff. Real talk, y'all. There was a language of violence that was brought into that relationship. They were both hurting each other. They were both doing terrible things. They were both toxic in that relationship and incorporating something that should not have been incorporated in that relationship. Now we can click over and drag that same situation of what I'm saying over to this couple right here. Sure, I'm sure, you know, he was doing everything he could to be with her. I'm sure she was doing everything she can be with to do. She was doing everything she could do to be with him too. But at the same time, some of these guys out here, I know I'm going down a different route here, but hey, some guys out here put some women on this pedestal and the women like it, and then they start to treat the man like they're a little minion, to the point where there's violence or they're verbally abusive, so on and so forth. But it doesn't matter. You know, I'm just throwing out the theories. But the fact that this literally has been put in this language of violence has been put into the relationship, and then it escalates. It just escalates. It grows. You put that seed in there and it grows. And a lot of times it grows like wildfire. It gets crazy. And then people get hurt or they die. And that's the thing. That's the sad part about all this. A language was brought into this relationship, and they allowed it to stay in there because whatever it might be. Maybe he thought he could never do any better than this OnlyFans model. And maybe she thought that she could never do any better finding a man that praises her. Maybe. I don't know. Right? This is all speculation. This is all theory. But the one thing that should not have happened from the jump is the integration of violence in that relationship. Let's continue.
Even though that we really lost Christian only, it feels like we also lost Courtney at the same time, because we didn't think that this is as far as it would have gone.
And following the stabbing, Clenny was detained. She was brought here to the police department for questioning. And during that process, she was threatening to kill herself. So officers took her to the hospital where she was Baker acted. As it stands at this moment, she has not been charged. That's the latest here from Miami. Sanella Sabovic, Local.
Okay. So she was screaming, I'm going to Sean Kingston myself. That's what she was doing. And if you don't get the Sean Kingston thing, he had a very popular song, really, really popular song. And if you don't know the song, just Google it and you'll get what my code word is, okay? But she said, I'm going to Sean Kingston myself. Verbatim, she said that. Why? We don't know. Either she said it because she can't believe she did what she did, because the anger and the violence escalated to a point where she ends up having a knife in her hand and doing something unthinkable in a fit of rage. Or she's literally trying to save her own ass and trying to claim insanity, that she was temporarily insane at that particular moment, which is something that people use as an excuse so that they don't get heavier charges. So this situation is very, very sad, because I love seeing all kinds of people fall in love. I love seeing people happy. I love love just like anybody else. You know, you want to, I want everyone to live long and prosper. You know what I mean? Spock up in this biznai. I want people to be happy. And if you know, and whoever you love, I don't care. Just love. Exude and be an example of love in your relationships, in your friendships, and how you approach other people in this world. Approach with love. But when you start bringing in violence into your relationship as a couple, as soon as that is introduced, for me, once it's introduced, there's no turning back. Because as soon as you have that, it's like that whole thing of like somebody sits there and says, don't ever, like in a marriage, don't ever throw out the word divorce in a marriage. Never bring it out, because the thing is that as soon as you do that, now you opened up a can of worms that shouldn't have been there. If you really want to work it out with your loved one, with your spouse, with your partner, you don't sit there and say separation or divorce. You don't say the D or the S word. You don't say those things, because now you've incorporated something. Now you've incorporated something that didn't even need to be incorporated into the relationship if you want to stay with that person. So the same thing, if you truly love that person, if you truly are with that person and care for that person, you don't put your hands on that person. Why? Then resentment comes in. Like I said, it's a seed. And it slowly grows and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And it just takes over the toxicity of that takes over the entire relationship. And the next thing you know, you have a knife in your chest and you have somebody crying over you covered in blood because they're the one who inflicted that stab wound in your chest. It all started from the moment that either side decided to put their hands on their loved one. That's where the mistake started. And however long they've been together, literally, however long they've been together, this seed has just been growing and getting more and more vicious and violent. And they keep allowing, because, you know, as soon as you hit, like as soon as that person does violence on the partner, that partner takes it and absorbs that energy. And then they hold it for the next fight that you have. Then you have that fight and then they retaliate and they hit you. And then this keeps going back and forth to the point where it gets extremely, extremely violent and someone dies. Or someone ends up in jail. And no matter what, even as you're sitting there trying to go, well, she didn't, she started, and no one's listening anymore. No one gives a damn. They don't care about it anymore. They don't. They're like, we don't care who started it. You got caught doing this. You shouldn't have put your hands on her or vice versa. That's why your ass is in jail now. So with this, that's why I wanted to bring it up to you guys. Because yes, I understand there's some people out here that feel about that have some thoughts about the fact that he tweeted what he tweeted. And yes, I don't agree with what he said, and we already talked about that. But I also think that what he said was kind of ironic. It's very ironic. He'll sit there and he'll dog the other, his own race, but then as soon as he finds his one and only, he puts her on a pedestal, and next thing you know, he's dead because of the woman that he put on a pedestal. It's sad. It's very, very sad and extremely ironic. But outside of interracial dating, if they were the same race, it doesn't matter. If they were a gay couple, it doesn't matter. Violence is never the right thing to incorporate into any relationship. And if you are, I'm going to say this too, if you are in a relationship that's getting volatile, that's getting toxic, God forbid, getting violent physically, get out. I'm telling you right now, get out. Because trust me, you'll thank me later. You're better off in being with somebody or being around people that love you, that have your back, that will embrace you with hugs and kisses and support, not punches and chokes and body throws and bruises all over your body. So this is the reason why I wanted to bring this up to you guys. I wanted to talk to you guys about this because we need to be more aware of our surroundings, not only just within ourselves and the surroundings that we have on the outside world. It's also what's going on inside of our world, in our home, in our private domiciles, in our little bubbles that we live in. A lot of us don't see the forest through the trees. And I'm saying this right now. If you are just letting this person hurt you, if you're letting these people do these terrible things to you, I say don't take it anymore. Leave. Don't hurt nobody. Just get up and leave. Call your friends, call your parents, call whoever you need to call, and go. I guarantee you, you will thank me later on being able to get away from that toxic environment. Because violence is never, ever, ever the answer, y'all, when it comes to love between two people. So that is the show, guys. I appreciate all y'all for being on. I really do. Thank you guys so much. Okay. We put a dent in today. Lots of stories to cover. If you guys can, please do me a favor. I do have a secondary channel. It's called The Pascal Show Clips. Please go over there and click that subscribe button over there. I am putting over clips over there from these long shows, because obviously over here, not everybody wants to watch the entire show. Sometimes you just want to hear the headline story or that headline thing. So please go over to the Pascal Show Clips, hit that subscribe button over there. And also, before you leave, okay, please hit that like button down below. Send it past 600 likes before you leave. That would really mean a lot. You guys have been incredible. I appreciate you guys having this conversation with me. It's not easy. These conversations are never, ever easy. But I appreciate every single last one of y'all for being here, just hearing me out and being a part of the conversation. Also, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Crush it if you haven't done that yet. We're working our way towards 100,000 subscribers. Your boy is working hard out here, really, really hard out here. Hopefully tonight, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, I will be on in the new space. We're still working out some kinks and everything. So just wanted to let you guys know about that, so that if you see a notification about me going live, that will most likely be me in the new space. Just so you know. Okay? Anyway, guys, it's time to get going. I love all y'all. Have a safe and wonderful Thursday. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I will see you guys very, very soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.